What's the collaboration app on DataMiner services all about? It's actually a powerful website allowing you to keep track of all the projects ongoing here at Skyline. You can immediately give feedback, continuous feedback to the teams here on every iteration, on every deliverable they are providing to you. So it's a collaboration you can do. You can engage here with the team so that you can, in an agile way, work together with the Skyline team to get the best result we want. Let's take a closer look at that. So here we have our DataMiner.services website. Do note I'm logged in as Andy Tamer. He has a company, or he's working at a company, Global Telecom Corp. He has a couple of projects ongoing here, so he wants to check the progress on that. So that's why we can go to the collaboration website. It allows you to immediately interact with the Skyline team and see the progress of your ongoing projects here. So if we dive into that, it opens up in a new tab page. You can also directly navigate to collaboration.dataminer.services to access that. What you will see on the home page, you immediately have an overview of all your ongoing projects. So basically, whenever you order something at Skyline, it will immediately be processed here and it will pop up on this website as an ongoing project. So we have two ongoing projects, some DataMiner installations and some help desk and NOC solution that I'm deploying here. And I also have a maintenance contract ongoing for 2020. So the maintenance contracts, let's collapse it for a second here. And we do have our closed projects as well, which is collapsed by default. That's a maintenance and support contract from last year. Do note that I have next to those two projects immediately also a due date. So we can see this one is already color-coded because it's getting closer. It's in a few weeks, the deadline. The other one is still a little bit further away, July 1st of next year. You do also have the possibility to search in here if you would have a longer list, so you can immediately find your NOC solution, for instance. Before I dive into a project, let me explain you that you have on the left-hand side in that side panel two views. We're currently looking at my projects here, but I also have a convenient my tasks. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's basically the same thing you could say as going into a project, but it's just focused on what interests me. I'm Andy Tamer, as I mentioned before, and this is actually all the tasks that are assigned to me. So I apparently have 3 pending tasks where the Skyline team needs something from me. I have one task which is waiting, and apparently it is waiting for some documentation. So apparently I still need to provide them some details there. And I also have 2 tasks which are in customer acceptance. I need to provide them feedback whether this is good or not. So like the Kubernetes driver that has been provided on my platform here. I can take a look at it. I can say, okay, I'm happy with that. Let's put it on completed. Or if I have some further feedback, I can set it back to in progress, provide them at the bottom here with some additional comments on what still needs to be changed in there. As I said, I won't go into further detail here because the details of the tasks, I will explain that later on. You do also have a board view, less interesting here. I'll come back to that while taking a look at the projects. So let's dive back into the projects. I have 2 ongoing projects. I'll go into my NOC solution. And if I dive into that, I will see all the tasks that are needed to deliver this project to me. So whenever an order comes in at Skyline, they will immediately process that and the team will basically break it up into different tasks. I say tasks, but it could also be different user stories and epics. They can group things together as well. I can already show you here, there's one group in here. It has a special icon here. And in this case, it's not a user story or an epic, it's actually a sprint. Because Skyline, they are working in like an agile way. So they have basically squads, small teams with different people in there with different skills and capabilities, allowing them to have a complete ownership of the delivery of a project. So from the beginning till the end, the squad will be responsible. It's a small team of people. They are self-organizing. So it might be that one squad from another squad, or maybe one project from another project, or it can change in time. They might work a little bit different because that's the freedom they have. They might work in sprints, they might work with user stories and epics, they might work in Kanban. It all depends on how they are organized at that moment in time. With retrospectives and things like that, they are evolving and they are changing. So it's never a fixed thing in time. Now, we do have in our project here, so I'm Andy Tamer, as I mentioned before, and I have my Global Telecom Corp where I'm working. I have the name of my project, which is currently in progress. I have 3 tab pages, the list showing me all the different tasks, the breakup of my project here, and I can take a look at the exact same information, but in a board view. So in the board view, I have all my not started, the to be scheduled investigation, the schedules, the in progress tasks, etc. And I also have at the bottom a timeline view. I'll go into a little bit more detail in just a second. The last tab page is the report tab page. The report tab page allows you to have a little bit more details about the project. There could be some attachments, some files, some functional design specifications that are indicated here. I have here on the right hand side my due date, where we are today, and then some details, some references, and also a description which could contain like a bill of material. In this case, it could also contain some tracking of where there were some due dates changes, some delays maybe in the project, that's tracked in there. And on the right hand side, I have all the contact details I need. So who's the project owner, the technical guy, the sales guy, and I can also see my squad that is assigned to this project. So that's the team of people that will be responsible for deploying this project. Okay, let's go back one step to the list view. So the list view, we have the list of all our tasks in there. So whenever I select a specific task, I will see on the right hand side the details. Now I do see some tasks are not started, investigation to be scheduled. What's all this about? Well, very interesting. If you just open up any task, next to the status you see here, you have a small question mark. And if you hover over the question mark, you do immediately see how a task progresses in time. So it basically goes from the left hand side where it's still to do, to busy, where we are working on it, to done. So all the blue items you could say are more, we're not yet working on it. So it typically comes in as not started, as something that needs to be done. And there's actually an investigation step we added in there to make sure, like, yeah, do we have all the necessary documentation in there? Is everything complete? Do we still need to go back to the customer to ask some more information? So basically, can we start working with it? Once we know that we have everything and it's clear what we need to do, and there is a definition of done, then we can set it to be scheduled. Then it's ready to be picked up. That's basically our backlog. So there is where all the tasks are that we can immediately start working on. But we're not just having, just starting on anything. We are typically like making sprints or organizing them into like digestible blocks. The product owner together with the stakeholders, they will on a regular basis take some tasks from that backlog and basically put it in a sprint, if they are using a sprint, and put it on scheduled. So once it's in scheduled, it's going to be executed. So then when the time is there, we pick the task from the scheduled bucket and we start working on it. That's the in progress. Once it's completed, we could have a code review if that's applicable, and it goes to quality assurance. Once the quality assurance step is over, we can go to the ready to be deployed. So then we can actually install it. Once it's installed on the staging system, for instance, it can go into customer acceptance. So then Andy Tamer can get the task and he said like, okay, there's it's available on the staging system. Let's take a look at it. We can play with it. If we're happy with it, we can actually put it on completed. Once it's completed, we can close it and then it's from our view, hidden away a little bit. So that's the main run through of a task, you could say. So we have a task here. It's currently assigned to Bert van den Berge, so it's always assigned to somebody. And we have all the details at the bottom. You already notice here the P1. Well, actually, we see also in the list view, we have labels we can assign to tasks. That's a little bit the freedom of the squads again, which kind of labels they are using, a P1, P2 for the priority, or they can use it for sprints instead of using a group. They can also use a label for that, or to identify some high priority tasks. So it could be for various reasons they are labeling some of those tasks in here. Then we have all the details of the task. There could be some, depending on the type of task. Let me take a software issue, for instance. There could be also some fields like a priority, SLA level, when it's released, found in version. So depending on the task, there might be more or less fields. You can take a look at that. There's also some attachments here and a JPEG explaining what the issue is, for instance. So you can just take a quick look at it, close it again. And then we have the history tracking of the task. Let me take another one, which is in progress. This one will maybe already have a couple of changes, so you can see some changes that were happening over time. Whenever you want to provide some feedback, test is available on staging, for instance. So we can just add that in there, assign it to somebody else if we have the necessary rights. But as a customer, you're not always having all the rights that the Skyline guys have. The Skyline people can do a little bit more, of course. But at any point in time, you can add some more information to a task or add some feedback in there. Because this virtual desk solution is due today, so maybe I should ask if it's already available on the system instead of me telling it is available. Anyhow, you get the idea. Now, you can see indeed the due date on that one is indicated in orange because it's close to being overdue. The other ones are still in gray, so the due date is a little bit further in time, so we still have some time for those ones, like this one, November 13th. Now, that's a little bit of an overview of the list of tasks. You can, of course, collapse and expand. You have here on the upper right-hand side of the list some more features to sort on alphabetically or on the assigned to person, for instance. So we have some tasks to Andy and some tasks to Bert. But also you can filter. So you can say I'm only interested in the in-progress tasks, or only the software issues, or only with a certain label, or only assigned to me, or even only in a certain group, in an epic, in a user story, or in a sprint in this case. So various ways, but also a quick filter. So if I'm looking for a PTP thing, okay, the installation of the PTP app, it's in the current sprint, it's going to be November 13th, the due date. So that's coming up in a few weeks from now. You can immediately see that in there. Now that's a little bit about the handling here. You can create a new task in there quite easily. The only thing you have to do is you have to do a quick choice there on what it is. Is it concerning a driver issue or a software issue? Is it a new feature you're requesting for a driver or a software feature? Or is it just generic supporting? I don't really know if it's software or driver or whatever it is. You can just say, I need help on topic X, and you just add some description in there, and you can just save that. It will be immediately assigned to the squads, and they will immediately pick up on that so that they can further work on it. Maybe ask you for some more details, because note it's not started, it's not accepted yet. So typically they will go first in some kind of investigation mode, like what should we do with it? Ask for more details, or can we immediately continue to the to be scheduled so that we can plan it in. Okay, so that gives you a little bit of an idea on the list view. Now let's take another look on that board view, allowing you to see exactly the same thing but in a more visual way. So we do see the not starteds in there, the investigations, the to be scheduled, the scheduled, the in progress, and the customer acceptance. So I can see I have my customer acceptance driver installation that is still pending there. The same thing is also visible, but on a graphical timeline way, only for the tasks that effectively have a start and due date. Well, there was that sprint. So let's take a closer look. If I open up that sprint, I will see that there actually are some items in there for next week and the week after to do certain things like the Riedel, the PTP, all the different stuff they will do in there. You can just click on it to see more details in there as well. And note, because on the top I see everything, next to the sprint, you can also click on that filter icon. That allows you to immediately filter down that view. You can see immediately the scheduled, the progress. So that's the sprint we are currently in. We still have 3 items that are scheduled, not started yet. It's still in the blue, in the to-do region. I have one where I'm currently working on, and there is one which is in customer acceptance. By the way, I already took a look at it. So let's say it's completed. I can say looks good and put it on completed. I can put save and I can immediately provide that feedback that I'm happy with this result here. So that's a quick overview of the collaboration platform. I hope you enjoyed it. It is very powerful. It is very important to provide that continuous feedback. That's one of the cornerstones of the agile way of working. So please take a look at it, and I'm sure you'll be happy with seeing the progress happening there in that collaboration website and the ability to have close contact with the Skyline team. Let us know if we can improve any other thing on there as well. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.